Hello. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Is my
How
mic?
cool is that looking, guys? Have not seen the other Star Wars, so
You haven't seen any of them?
no. I've seen one of them. I don't remember which one.
Oh goodness. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to fix that.
Yes, maybe a Star Wars night before, so then we can go see that. When does
Just
it come out?
a
Christmas?
marathon.
December. December. Anyway, welcome. This is Davis Crew. So if this is your first time, I'm very excited that you're here. And if this is your 100th time or whatever, thanks for coming back. It's so good to see your guys' faces. I am Shelby, and I am a fourth-year man econ major. Woo!
And my name is Wyatt Graham, and I'm a third-year biochemistry major.
Woo!
Woo! Well, here at Davis Crew, we're all about give, grow, go, which is right over there, and it's also right over there. And we really want this to be something that practically impacts your life. So, for example, I know that I have grown so much through the Bible studies and the discipleships that we have had here on campus. So if you are really interested in doing that, that's what this Christian ministry is all about. We're all about giving students a chance to hear and respond to Jesus and growing in our faith and then going into the mission world and kind of being the light in the world. So, yeah.
Agreed. I like that. I like that. So, just a little reminder. I'm pretty sure you guys have kind of got the idea now that we have weekly things that go on all the time, that go on every week. It's a little redundant, but that's okay. That is our action groups, and so takes place in all the different areas on campus. And so you can actually take flyers for those if you want. They'll be out probably in the lobby afterwards, and then just that way, if you do forget, you can have it with you when you guys go out. You can take them to your friends, maybe post them around like your dorms or your apartment buildings by like the mailboxes. How do I see that?
That's a really good idea.
I've never thought about it.
I haven't, so I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
Also, another couple of weekly things that we have going on, sharing, prayer, ride to church, crew live stream. So if you want to watch this from the comfort of your home, you can. Again, those are all on flyers as well. They're also right up here. So don't forget to go to sharing and prayer. They're always really great times.
Yeah, those will definitely help you with like going and just practicing what that could look like, whether that's over the summer or like in the future. It's a good way to practice how you can go in the future.
Plus, it's just generally good for your faith and for your relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, and it's really fun. It's really fun.
It is really fun.
So, but yeah, so. Whoa.
Are we just too close? Or?
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to move on to our game for the evening, which I'm really excited about, and I'm really excited for you guys to get the prize because it's a really cool prize, and I'm really jealous. But it's okay. You guys will see that when it comes because it's a secret.
I'm not erasing this to be rude. We need the boards.
Wow, how could you?
I saw all of your looks.
It is really pretty. I don't know who drew it tonight. I like.
Yeah,
I
really,
like all of
honestly,
this.
sorry for this.
Yeah, we should have, like Snapchat or not taking a snapshot of it. Okay. Anyway, I can't speak, guys. Week 3 is not even hard, and I'm so tired. Week 3 is just like that weird week. I don't know. Oh,
Guys, it's not like I wanted to do this. Listen to Shelby.
Yes. Anyway, so we're playing Pictionary tonight. So we're going to ask for teams of 2. We're going to have 4 pairs. Leave that part. That's good. There we go. All right. So the way we're going to do is Wyatt and I are each going to pick one person. You guys are going to be a team. So we need volunteers.
Volunteer, we'll pick.
We need volunteers, okay? So for team 1, it's going to be...
3 men over... Oh.
Wait.
Oh, wait, sit down.
No, wait, sit back down. We're going to pick it as teams.
I'm sorry.
So raise your
was not on
hands.
that page.
Dejana. And then you pick the other one.
Ben.
You guys are a team.
Yeah.
Now come on down.
Come on
Woo!
down. See, we're doing a book cover, seniors to freshmen.
There we go.
I like
All right.
this way,
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, go.
Huh?
We need 2
Yeah.
more volunteers.
You want to come up? Come on up. What's your name? Christina, I think. Christina, yeah, come on
Perfect.
up. And then,
All right. I like the girl guy thing that we have going on, so I'm going to call Alex.
all right, come on down. Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, do you guys want to both come up? Yeah? Cool.
All right,
Do
so
you
we
wanna
need
pick
one more?
One more guy.
One more male. Rico, you know, Paige, I'm sorry. Rico, come on down. Sorry, Paige. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for you. All right, so teams, again. You are with Christina. Do we have 4 teams? No, I think we have 3 teams. Do we have 3? We need one more girl and guy. Jared.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Scotty. That sounds much better.
Boy, we needed a boy.
No, What?
I
Okay.
could tell.
All right, are you guys ready? So
Guys, move on this way. Move on this way.
scoot, 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 scoot. All right. Do you want to pass your mic down to all of them? And
Yes,
they can
I
tell
do.
Us,
All right.
tell us your name and what should we do? Name and
Favorite animal.
all right.
My name is Dejana. I like zebras.
Ooh, cool. I like zebras.
My name is Benjamin, and I like dogs.
I can't.
My name is Alex, and I like river otters.
Oh, all right. Changing it
My
up.
name's Christina, and I like giraffes.
Very cool. Yeah, they have.
My
cool
name's
accent ones.
Cassandra, and I like elephants.
Ooh, exotic. I like it.
My name is Rico. I like tigers.
Nice.
All
I
right,
like stinky
I'm
animals.
Jared, and I like dolphins.
Wow.
I'm Lucy. I like piglets.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
cute.
that's
Aw.
nice.
I like that.
Okay.
Okay, so we need, who wants to be the drawer first for each team?
It's like a switch. It's
Yeah, you
Pictionary,
guys
so
are
you're
gonna
switching
switch.
back and forth.
So yeah,
you both
sorry.
have to draw.
The way it's going to work is that one of you will draw, and for each team, and you guys are all going to draw the same thing. So it's on the honor system, so we don't want you looking at like everyone else's drawings. Try and only look at the one that your team member is drawing.
and we are a
and then-
Christian group, so remember that.
But there's grace.
There's so much
Um,
grace.
So yeah, and so we're gonna give you the word, and then whoever guesses that word first will get a point. Whoever has the most points at the end will win the secret prize.
The secret prize.
So whoever's gonna draw first, just go up and get next to the board, and the other one can stand like right out here somewhere.
Oh,
yes.
right. So remember, you are guessing what they are drawing.
Oh, I guess we have to show them. We can't say out the word. Huh?
Don't like
Yes.
motion with your hands. Don't say words. Let your art be your words. You know, pictures are worth 1,000 words. What? Yeah, you
Alright.
can't draw
This is the
out the
first.
word. Okay, you can't be like, oh, it's green, so I'm gonna write GRE. No. You have to like draw a green. I don't know how you would do that, but that would be really hard. Yeah. So if you think you have the answer, don't be shy. Don't be like, be confident and say it. But
Just
don't be
shout
like,
it.
don't be like, green, red, orange. Like you have to give it a second and be like, okay, like maybe, like.
All right, drawers, are you ready? Okay. 3, 2,
And be loud because we have to hear
1,
you.
go. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Oh! That
Woo!
was great.
All right. High five.
Very well done. All right, so switch.
That was smart.
Switch. Pass down the eraser. Here, we'll
All right,
you
then,
can use
guys
that.
have 1 point.
Go ahead and use that.
If you guys don't know, that's like one of the worst sounds. I hate that sound. With
I hate when chalk
passion.
screeches.
I hate it so much. Yes.
It's
It
worse.
was
Is
picnic
fingernails on a
day,
chalkboard
if you did
worse?
Not hear that. All right. Okay.
Fingernails on a chalkboard, you know?
So they got that first one. Oh, the sound. Okay. This is the second one.
Oh, I guess I could do that
Okay.
too.
This one.
All right, can you see that? It's that one.
La 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 la. Okay. That one.
I only got to one person.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got this. I don't know if I could do this, but you can totally do
You
this.
can totally do this. I believe in you guys. All right. Ready? Set. Go. Go.
Go.
Wait, what?
Go, go, go. Go, yeah,
Go. Go.
These are some pretty impressive things that are on here.
We do.
Shelby, do you think that you could draw something to get people to guess?
I don't know if I could do anything.
Benjamin
I
looks
l-
so focused.
I feel like they're all doing a good job. That's probably the most I would do.
I like Alex's circling to highlight.
How about we give you guys like 10 more seconds? What time is game?
Wait, can we do that?
you
Do we
on?
have the authority?
I feel like we have the authority to do that. What time?
I feel like we should
definitely
also
do.
have it projected so you guys know what they're trying to
All
draw.
right.
That'd be great.
I know. All right, 5 more seconds. and
Wait,
then
you guys
maybe
have to
we'll
say it
just let
loud,
the
too.
Audience help.
If you think you know it, say it loud.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right. Do any of you guys have last minute guesses?
You each get one guess. All right, Ben. What's your guess?
Can I guess last?
No. You gotta go first. Go
Yeah,
first.
because you got the point. All right, Jared.
Aw, okay.
What's your guess?
I thought it was like a campus map or something.
Not
Campus
quite.
map,
Good
no.
Good guess.
Oh, I think this is like map of like outside bird's eye view of like Hickey Gym or something.
No.
No, not quite.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's
All right, what's your final guess?
Poster board?
That's pretty
That's
close.
so that's
That's
well,
close.
we can't really say that.
Yeah. Oh.
Forget that.
Wait, did I do
Amnesia.
Event.
No.
No, wow. Okay, I think
Audience,
that we should
wait,
give
does
it.
it.
I think
do
we should give it to them
Yeah.
because
You
they
wanna
were
give it
pretty.
to them?
They were pretty close.
I don't know.
Poster board, bulletin board.
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? Should we give it to them? Yeah. All right.
All right. You guys get a point.
The
Go
final
up.
answer was bulletin board. Was a bulletin board.
Bulletin board.
Yeah. All right.
I
guys.
like the circle. All right, go ahead and erase your boards. You guys are starting again. One more time. Yeah, last one.
All right, guys. Last one. So,
Last one. So we can have a three-way tie.
Wait.
We can have
Which one?
what?
Which one should we do?
That one's gonna be hard. I'd do that one.
Like that. Okay. Cool. I didn't say anything. I promise.
All right, I'm gonna go around and show them. All right, the password is. All right.
You got
All right.
Rico?
The password is.
Who do you guys think is gonna win?
You got it. All right.
Dejan? Dejan?
All
right.
right.
This is for it, guys. This is for the really awesome prize that I'm very jealous
For
of.
all the
Okay.
marbles.
So, ready, set, go. Oh!
Rico, you're killing me.
Wait, right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and playing.
Good job. That was great.
That's impressive, honestly. And now it's gone.
All right. Y'all can sit down.
All right.
And then our
We-
two winners.
I need all of you guys who didn't win to go and sit down.
Thank you guys for participating.
There's
Good
so much
job,
grace,
guys.
but
Good
unfortunately.
job.
All right,
Good job.
Ben and Dijana, we have a special prize. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just close them. All right, go ahead.
All right. Close your eyes, girl. I saw that. Yeah, you can put your hands out. You guys, and then maybe you can guess. It's really heavy. No, it's not.
Yes,
light.
it's alive.
Okay. All right, you can,
You can open up your eyes.
It's a block of chocolate, like a block
From-
of chocolate.
From Andy's hometown.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Huh? No, it's great. No, it's awesome. It's like pure chocolate. Like, look at this thing. It's like heavy. It's like heavy.
it's like
So you might
make
have to,
friends
like,
with them kind of chocolate. So,
Break it apart. Like, use a little like chisel. You know, like
All
break
right.
off pieces.
thank you
Yeah.
guys for
Thank
coming
you.
and playing.
All right. It's all you, bro. Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. So that was really fun. And now is the time of the weekly meeting where we're going to dive into something a little more serious. And actually, Jared, we shouldn't have had you sit down because we're going to go ahead and bring Jared back up to talk to us
Woo!
about something that he's been doing, which is really pretty cool.
Welcome.
I know not to fold the paper for the community spotlight because if it does, it always kind of face plants to the ground. So I know not to do that. All right. So yeah, they asked me to do a community spotlight, so I'm like, okay, I guess so. Even though I'm even though I got a midterm tomorrow. So yeah, I'm basically talking about the Sabbath day because I guess it connects to the talk tonight. So. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm doing this thing called the Sabbath Day. So how I heard about it was basically Tycho and Jen talked about it last quarter, and it was like something that that I was kind of like interested in. Sounds kind of cool, but I never really got around to doing it until this quarter, and then I realized that hey, my quarter is pretty light, so yeah, I guess I'll try it out. So what is a Sabbath day? So basically what I was kind of told it was kind of like a day where it's a day of rest. So yeah, I guess for students that would kind of mean that it's a day of rest from stuff like homework, school stuff, stuff like that, to kind of refocus on God and kind of like what he's been doing in our lives. So what does the Sabbath day look like? Well, I can probably tell you what a Sabbath day doesn't look like. So, yeah, I can kind of as my apartment mate Wyatt would say, it was, let me paint you a picture. So imagine me sitting in my room, all the lights off, playing video games 6 hours straight. My roommate Ethan opens up the blinds and I kind of hiss at the light. That's not what it is. It's basically what Jen described it as was sloth mode. It's not sitting at your computer watching Netflix all day, watching 5 movies straight, playing video games, stuff like that. What it is, it's actively resting. So what does that look like? It's kind of like having quiet times with God, reading the Bible, other hobbies, exercising, cleaning. May not really sound all exciting, but trust me, once you really get into it, those stuff actually sound like really nice to do. Yeah, and like I said, I don't do homework. So how does that, what does that do? How does that change me? So what it kind of really came down to was not something that I was really expecting it to be. So I've done it for 2 weeks now. The first weekend was Easter Sunday, and the second one I went on a hike to Lake Berryessa, and that was pretty cool. So what I originally thought it would be was kind of like a catch-up day for me to kind of realign myself with God, like a full day where I can just kind of read the Bible, have a quiet time to kind of pray to Him, and it would be really great. But in reality, since the idea of giving up 24 hours of your weekend, especially in the face of a week like this where I had 2 midterms, it did something that I wasn't expecting. Since the idea of taking off that much time was like really hard for me, and it really took me a lot to trust in God to do that. It made other parts of my life kind of, in a way, giving that to God too. So since it was such a big thing to not do homework that day, everything else in my life, like the rest of the week, was kind of like that. Like I pray to God and I just kind of trust Him in everything I do now, if that makes any sense. Yeah, since I trust God to see my Sunday through, I kind of trust Him to do everything. He's kind of like my everything now. So yeah, if I can just like kind of finish this off, I would probably say, so I figured that as Christians, since we see God as pretty much the center of our lives, we should kind of, since He's the center of our lives and we see Him as everything, it doesn't really turn out that way, since as students we also have other stuff, other obligations, other studying, and we spend pretty much 7 days of the week straight doing that. Sure, we go to church on Sundays and we do other things, but that's mostly what we do. So if we see God as like the center of our lives, then giving at least 1 day to Him a week to kind of just, as I said, catch up with Him and trust Him to do that, then it's kind of like the least we can do. So yeah, that's the Sabbath day. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your insight, Jared, on how a student can actually go about doing Sabbath day. So if you guys want to stand up, we're going to have the worship band come up.
A lot at church and stuff, and it can be just like, okay, now we're going to sing songs about God. But we want you guys to be able to experience God here. So I'm going to take a minute to pray, and then just like take this moment to either pray or just kind of get rid of the distractions and really focus on God right now. And I just pray you all experience God here. All right. Lord, I thank you so much for bringing everybody here. I pray that your Holy Spirit would fill all of us, that we'd be receptive to what you have to say to us, and that we'd just be overflowing with praise and thanksgiving to you. I thank you for all that you've done, and I pray that you'll be glorified tonight. In your name I pray, amen. calling me to lay aside the worries of my day, to quiet down my busy mind and find a hiding place. Worthy, you are worthy. Open up my heart and let my spirit worship yours. Open up my mouth and let a song of praise come forth. Worthy, you are worthy. Of a childlike faith and of my honest praise, of my unashamed love, of a holy life and of my sacrifice, of my unashamed love. Calling me to lay aside the worries of my day, to quiet down my busy mind, find a hiding place. Worthy, you are worthy. Open up my heart and let my spirit worship yours. Open up my mouth and let a song of praise come forth. Worthy, you are worthy. Of a childlike faith and of my honest praise, of my unashamed love, of a holy life and of my sacrifice, of my unashamed love. Worthy, you are worthy. Worthy.
blessed be your name. Blessed be your name. I'm found in the desert place. Though I walk through the wilderness, blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be your name. The sun shining down on me. The world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name. On the road marked with suffering, though there's pain in the offering. Blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, blessed be your name.
All right, let's welcome up our speaker.
This is Jeremiah Kepner. I get the privilege and honor of standing right here next to this man who I greatly respect. Once he was called Captain Crusade. So enjoy as he teaches us from the Word. He'll do that with this microphone, though.
Thanks, guys. So I love fun. I don't know about you guys, but I love to be full of joy. I love to be full of life. And so something happened this week that really helps me with that. So I don't know if you can show. So I got my scooter fixed. The muffler like falls off occasionally, and then I have to figure out how to like put it back on and weld it and things like that. I don't weld, but I have to figure out how to get it back on. But I love riding my scooter. Like there's something about it that just brings me joy when I ride. Like I don't think I've ever ridden it frowning. And I've just had the worst days, and then I ride home, and just riding it, I'm just like, at least I'm riding my scooter, you know. So I don't know if you guys have a scooter in your life, but you should get one. That really has very little to do with what I'm talking about tonight, but I just wanted to share with you my joy in getting my scooter fixed. So I've actually bitten off a bit more than I can chew tonight in terms of what we're looking at. But it's a passage that so has filled me with joy in my life that I just really wanted to share it with you. And this passage is like one of those movies that you see it once, and then you're like, oh, I gotta see that movie again, you know? That twist, that hook at the end, like Bruce Willis has been dead the whole time, you know? Or like Darth Vader's his father, right? Or like Finkel is Einhorn, you know? One of those movies that it just makes sense, but then you got to go back again and be like, okay, let me redo that again. So I'm going to go over a passage that I hope you get a little bit, but that you re-look at later. But it's embedded with this amazing truth, but confusing logic. But it's a truth that I really believe will help you see the great life that Jesus offers, and finally live out the life that you really have always wanted. You've always felt like is out there, but you could never quite get it. So the book of Hebrews is written to a people who are really, they were tempted to stop being disciples of Jesus, stop being followers of Jesus, and kind of go back to Judaism. One of the historical realities of that is that in the Roman Empire, it was legal to be Jewish. So that the Roman Empire said, okay, these religions are legal, but following Jesus, which originally was called the Way, like that was so new that the Romans were like, no, like what is that? You know, and so there was actually governmental persecution sometimes for people that would follow the Way, where there wasn't if you were Jewish. And so these people are kind of asking themselves, do I really want to go through with that? As well, you know, to be a Jewish follower of Jesus as your Messiah, your friends and family may totally turn their back on you. They say, you're out of the synagogue. You're out of our family. You're out. And there's these people living in the circumstance where life is hard and following Jesus has consequences, and they're saying, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's worth it. And is being an outlaw and being an outcast because I follow Jesus really necessary? Is it necessary to be a real dedicated follower of Jesus? Or can I just get away with kind of quasi-believing, quasi-following, a sort of disciple, so that my family and the Roman government just kind of leaves me alone? That's kind of what the author is writing about. And he writes a warning to these people against halfway following. But he also writes an offer of life. And he shows how amazing Jesus is and how trusting him fully, following him completely, is the only way that really makes sense at all. And we've looked a bit at this, right? In many past days and in diverse manners, God spoke to us, to the fathers, through the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us through the Son, whom he has appointed to be heir of all things, and through whom he created the world. He is the radiance of God's glory and the exact imprint of his nature. Jesus is the Son, and he's greater than the angels. Jesus will reign as king over the new heavens and the new earth. He became fully human and fully tempted so that he could be our great high priest. So pay attention so you don't drift away. We've heard these in the last 2 weeks, and they'll be repeated over and over in Hebrews. The way that kind of Jewish thought is kind of cyclic. It goes like this, so these arguments are going like this in Hebrews. Or another way to look at it is they're spiraling downward. Like, you know those penny things that you drop in and they go... I like the ones with two where you drop both sides and see if they hit, or you race. And anyway, my kids love that. But that's kind of what Hebrews is written like. And chapter 3 starts crazy. Jesus is better than Moses. Now, better than Moses? Are you kidding me? Moses is in the greatest epic of all time. They're still making movies about this, right? Right? You know, like Ten Commandments. I showed my kids 10 Commandments because that's really Moses. Charlton Heston is the real Moses, right? Let my people go, you know. But Moses, and he's saying one better than Moses is here. And so we're going to look at actually like chapter 3 and most of 4 tonight. We're not reading all of it, okay? But we're going to look at the next part of the argument. in which the author gives a warning and offers a magnificent promise of rest. So let me pray for us, and then we'll jump in. God, we need you to speak. We need you to be the one who connects with us and speaks to our souls. So speak through your word, speak through me, and let us learn to live it out. Amen. So we live in one of the busiest societies the world has ever known. And we really, as a culture, lack any sense of rest, any sense of peace, any sense of the old Hebrew word shalom. It's lacking. And there are two really big reasons to blame. The first one is technology and information. Right? Technology and information are always present. Right? Smartphones are a new thing, and everyone is expected to be available at every moment of every day. And it's killing us. I have a challenge for you. Be bored. Try it. And see what happens. You won't like it. And you'll freak out. Because we've been retrained and it's not good. You know? Try not looking at your smartphone for a day. 2 days. 3 days. Honestly, turn off your cellular data and just use it as a regular phone. Use it as a dumb phone. Watch what happens to your soul. One of the best things that Lori and I got to do over spring break was go somewhere where there was no cell phone coverage, no internet. So good. And technology is just worming its way into everything, and it's causing this vibration of the soul that it's not at rest, right? And technology is making the world smaller, and everyone's like, yay! But honestly, it actually leads to an incredible lack of rest. Because while it used to be that if you had a business or if you applied to a college, you were competing against people locally. No longer. Now you are competing against the entire rest of the world to get yourself or your product in front of people, and it's a very, very narrow window of profit. It's a very small likelihood of acceptance. It used to be that somewhere like UC Davis would get like 8,000 applications and accept 4,000 people, right? Now it's like, what, 40,000 applications? 70,000 for 5,000 spots? The world has gotten smaller and it's made it worse. And so now we're just panicked because everything is so easy, it makes everything very hard. So that's one, is technology and information. It makes it hard to rest. Another is that our society has shifted from an honor-based society to a dignity-based society. And an honor-based society, it was if you are a good husband, wife, father, banker, neighbor, you had worth and value and honor in your society. No longer. Now we have to prove ourselves. A dignity-based society means you have to be dignified. You have to distinguish yourself. You have to do something extra special in order to have worth. And that's the way our society works now. We get ribbons and ceremonies for worthless things. Because for some reason, our worth is tied up in other people noticing us for what we've done so special. So now you have, you guys are like, yeah, I am at this school. It's a good school, and so I have to do really well so that I can go to graduate school, and I have to get into a good graduate school. Why? Because I need to get a good job. Why do I need to get a good job? So that I can have a nice, comfortable house, so that I can have a family and children. And so my children can go to pre-kindergarten so that they can learn to read before they go to kindergarten, so that they can test into the higher reading level and the higher math level in elementary school, or maybe they can go to a private school. Why? So that they can go to a really good college, so that they can go to a really good grad school, so that they can get a really good job and have a family and kids who can continue the cycle. And that's what you're being fed. And it doesn't lead to life. It doesn't lead to rest, does it? How much pressure do you put yourself under to say, I have to? You don't. It's killing you. It really is killing you. Because we're in this dignity-based society where we have to distinguish ourselves. We have to do something amazing in order to feel like we have worth. And I fall into it. God has been trying to rip it out of me. And I'm a stubborn person to rip it out of. So the American dream, have a nice house, a unique house, actually, not just a nice one. Have a few kids that do really special things and get awards and stuff. And we're dying under the weight of our culture's expectations, and we're slaves. And I believe that a sense of rest, a sense of Sabbath, a sense of shalom should be what describes the people of God. But when I look around, I see most Christians as some of the most worried, agitated, and generally skittish people on the planet. And I myself, I worry. I have anxiety. I suffer from depression at times, or laziness, apathy. But then I'll have periods of great joy and contentment and vigor, and then periods where I'm just, I find it hard to sing "Blessed be the name of the Lord" all the time. I find it hard. So I think why? Okay, why do we not have this rest? Okay, and I think it could be ignorance, that we just don't know that rest is the plan. But I don't think that's it with me. I think something else happens. And I think this passage of Scripture in Hebrews has helped me understand what it is that steals my joy, what it is that steals my passion, what it is that steals my rest and my peace. And my problem, and I think our problem, is that we fail to believe. We have a failure of faith. So if you have a Bible or an app, Hebrews 3, 7 through 13 is where we're going to focus, but I'm going to go over the bigger thing. It says, "Therefore, as the Holy Spirit says, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, on the day of testing in the wilderness, where your fathers put me to the test and saw my works for 40 years. Therefore I was provoked with that generation, and said, they always go astray in their heart. They have not known my ways. As I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest. Take care, brothers, lest there be in any of you an evil, unbelieving heart, leading you to fall away from the living God. But exhort one another every day, as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. For we share in Christ, if indeed we hold our original confidence firm to the end." And so we're going to look at, there's 4 groups of people that it's talked about in these passages. And the first one is the Israelites, okay? So when it talks about in verses 16 through 18, that generation, okay, that generation were the people that were around Moses, okay? They were the ones that saw the 10 plagues. They were the ones that stood in front of the Red Sea. And then the east wind came, and the walls, the water went like walls, and they walked through. These were the people that heard the voice of God, that saw him descend as a cloud and thunder and lightning and craziness on Mount Sinai, and gave Moses the law. They were the ones that had a pillar of cloud as they were walking through the wilderness to shade them, and a pillar of fire so that they wouldn't be attacked by wild animals. They saw that. They had that happen for them. God brought them out of slavery into a land of freedom. That was the promise. Okay, and so God talks about like this concept of Sabbath in this passage where it says God rested on the 7th day, right? And it talks about that one of the 10 commandments was keep the Sabbath, rest. What's interesting is when they were in Egypt, they had no rest. Slaves don't get a rest. They're slaves. Slaves work and work and work and work. And God was saying, you get a day where you don't have to work. You get a day to rest. This is my gift to you coming out of slavery. So that's the first type of rest, is that this physical rest. That for the people, they should have seen, wow, I never got a day off when I was in Egypt. Now I get a day. And our bodies need it. So interestingly, in the French Revolution, they were trying to get rid of all historical everything of everything. And they said, you know what, yeah, this whole 7-day thing, total garbage. We're going to do every 10 days because we think we're awesome. And 10 just honestly does make a lot more sense in terms of a structure, a base for your, anyway. The metric system is way better. But what they found was people were just not making it with a 10-day work week. It's too long. And so I was like, no, we got to go back to 7. And honestly, today still, bakeries don't open on Sunday. You cannot get a good croissant, you know, on the Sabbath. And my friends that are there are like, it's killing me. So these 12, these people, they go up to the edge of the land of rest, say, this is the land I've promised you. I promised Abraham 500 years ago, and I'm giving it to you. So send 12 guys in to go look at it, check it out, and they come back. And 10 of them say, you know, well, they all say, this is an amazing land. Okay, this land has just absolutely everything we need, and it's going to be awesome. But there's a problem. There's people living there, and those people scare us. And so I don't think we can do it. And 2 guys, Joshua and Caleb, say, what are you talking about, guys? God has told us it's ours. So let's go. And the whole congregation of people fail. And they believe the lies that say it's too hard. And they failed. And they have to wander for the next 40 years. God swore to them, you shall never enter my rest. You shall not enter the land. Okay, that's the first part of the argument, is that you can't enter the land. Okay, chapter 4, verse 2, for good news came to us just as it went to them, but the message they heard did not benefit them because they were not united by faith with those who listened. So they didn't have faith, and therefore they were not allowed to enter. That's the first group. God swore in his wrath, you will not enter my rest. And then as we go through the passage, it actually talks about a second group. The second group is that actually what I started with, today if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion. That's David writing this. That's the second group of people, the people that lived around the time of David. He says, today, if you hear his voice. David is saying to his people, today. Not then, today. If you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Now, David wrote these living in the land of promise. And so the author notices that, and he says, what is happening here? How can David talk about rest if he's living in the land of rest? I thought that he was there. What is David talking about? And so that's the argument in this, really, is trying to show the people, like, what's going on. So Hebrews 4, 7 and 8. It says, again, he appoints a certain day, today, saying through David so long afterwards, after they were in the land, in the words already quoted, today if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. For if Joshua had given them rest, so Joshua is the guy who fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down, right? If Joshua had given them rest, why would David be talking about it? God would not have spoken of another day later on. So there must be a different kind of rest. Okay? And that's part of the point, is verse 9 says, so then, there remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. In David's time, David is writing, saying, don't miss out on the Sabbath rest. Don't miss out on shalom, is what David is writing to the people in his time. The Sabbath rest is so much deeper than what the people expected. They expected, oh, we're in the land. We don't even have to build our houses. The land is already cultivated. There's already vineyards here. There's already mature trees. But there was a different kind of rest. So this passage is kind of like an episode of Sherlock, okay? Love that show. If you haven't seen it, you got to get on this. This is so good. Where you got all these clues and seemingly random things, and then all of a sudden Superbrain just ties them all together, right? And so it's like, yeah, the butler did it in the study with the candlestick, you know? That's the way Sherlock works. And that's kind of what this passage is moving towards. So we got these clues, these things happening. Okay, so that's the second group of people. The first group is the original people in the promised land, right? That they were actually not allowed to go in. God said, "You're not going to enter my rest." Then David says, "Hey, make sure that today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your hearts like those guys." And then the writer of Hebrews says, "Don't be like them. Don't be like those Israelites in the desert." To these early Christians, he says, "You hear the message, but you didn't have faith, or you're watch out." So the original. So this is the weird logic, right? So the original author is talking about David, who's talking about the Israelites. Okay, you get that? So the original author is saying, "Don't be like those guys," just like David said, "Don't be like those guys." So what was their problem? They didn't have faith. The promises of God were before them. And actually, they saw crazy miracles. And I always, like people who say, "Oh, if I just saw, then I would have faith." Well, honestly, that's not true. These people saw ridiculously more, and they didn't have faith. Something was blocking them. Now, we have to be careful in passages like this to make sure that it's in the context of the whole book. Okay, little participation. What is this book about? Or who? Okay, Sunday school kids, what's the answer? Jesus, right? Apparently someone has like 3 Sunday school answers. I don't remember who has that theory. Yeah, this book is about Jesus. So you're like, okay. The Lion of Judah. The screensaver of the Lord. So we have to say, okay, how does this passage really help us understand Jesus? And it's saying that Sabbath is found in Jesus. And what really helped me was a story in the Gospels where the disciples are walking, and they walk all the time, and they're walking through a field, and as is legal and normal and okay, they just kind of pick some of the grains ahead. I guess they crumple them up and eat the wheat. I don't know how that works and why that would be enjoyable, but apparently it was. I guess sunflower seeds are nice, but they did it on the Sabbath. So the religious leaders said, no. That's work. You can't do work on the Sabbath. And Jesus is like, you guys are not, you don't get it. Don't you remember when David was running away from Saul and he stopped and ate bread that only a priest was allowed to eat? And they're like, yeah. Well, Jesus. He doesn't. He actually doesn't explain a lot sometimes. But it says, don't you realize that the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath? And the interesting thing that was noted by an author, he is not Lord over the Sabbath, but Lord of the Sabbath. Sabbath is for rest. It's a day of trusting God that 6 days' work is enough. That God will provide on the 7th day all that we need. But it's also a picture of the greater work. Hebrews 4:10 says, "For whoever has entered God's rest has also rested from his work, as God rested from his." Remember, it says on the 7th day God rested. Was he tired? No. He was satisfied. He was fulfilled. He was giving us an example. This is what Jesus meant on the cross when he said, "It is finished." The work is done. And it's the only true work that ever needs to be done. All other work is supposed to point to that work. All the rest that you've ever had is supposed to point to the rest that you have when you believe in Jesus. Hebrews 4:3, for we who have believed enter that rest. That second rest, not the physical, but the deeper. And the writer of Hebrews desperately wants his hearers to know that there is a Sabbath rest found only in resting in Christ. And we must have that belief in order to enter God's true, deeper Sabbath. So that brings the story to us. How often do we take the lesser Sabbath? How often do we look to the lesser rest? How often do we say, when I have this, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be at rest. Then I won't have anxiety. And we look to our success in school. We look to our success in ministry. We look to our success in relationships. We look to our career path. We look to pleasing our teachers or our parents or some other person. And we say, when I have that, then I will have rest. And that's a lesser Sabbath. How many times does a flat tire completely throw off your heart? Why? Right? Why does a broken piece of electronics suddenly send you into a tailspin? Why does the weather? You're like, it's too windy, so I'm just not having a good day. It's too hot, so I can't be happy. It's too cold in this room. Seriously, it's really cold in here. But we say this little external circumstantial thing steals my joy. What? No, that shows me I don't get it, right? And so today, God has been putting me through it. Okay, God has been showing me how much I fail at this. Okay, so I'm just going to use the example from today, not the one from yesterday or the day before. Okay. Today, I realized that I signed up for a seminary class that meets on Tuesday nights. And so during your guys' finals week or somewhere around there, I have a class that meets Tuesday, and then I'm supposed to be in Colorado to start classes with Crew on Thursday. So I have my 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock class on Tuesday, and then a 24-hour drive, and then classes on Thursday. If any of you know math, you can see that doesn't work. And I wasn't happy. I was nervous. I was anxious. I was like, oh no, now I got to figure it out. And I have to figure out these plans and like this or maybe this and all these different kinds of things. And it relates to, most likely I'm going to be going to Colorado without my wife and kids, actually, this summer, because we have this foster child who has visits with and it's like, Lord, what do you want us to do? And it just, I had a choice to make of whether I was going to rest. And I want to share with you a bit of how I've learned to deal with this, these things that happen, okay? We could say, try harder. Just have more faith. I don't think that works too well for me. It's never worked for me. And it's not specific enough, actually. I think what we need to ask is, why is this breaking my rest? Why is this breaking my sense of peace? For this instance, honestly, what it is control. And this realization I'm not in control, and that really frustrates me, because I would rather be in control. And I see that there's this pride and evil in my heart that says I need to be in control or else I can't have rest. Friends, that is not good. That's not good at all. I had this secret idol that I want to make all my own decisions without anyone saying this or that, So step one, I need to identify some false god that's being toppled, seeing why it's jacking me up. And step two, I have to realize that I already have peace in the one thing that could ever cause true panic, which is my standing before God. Romans 8:31-32. When I came to faith as a freshman year of college, this verse just, oh my gosh, I feel like changed my life. What shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? And it's an argument from the greater to the lesser. God has already given us the greatest thing. Won't he give everything lesser? God has already done the biggest thing possible. Won't he do the little things? And the answer is astoundingly, yes, he will. If God is for us, who could be against us? And so I need to choose to rest in that reality. That this thing is actually small in comparison to the big thing that God's already done. And I think that's just how it has worked for me. I go to this verse so much, and I say, if God gave us his son, how will he not also with us graciously give us all things? And then I say, I look to Jesus. And that's what makes the argument solid. So my mom, when we were growing up, we were never allowed to go outside and play before we had done our homework, before we'd done our chores. Work, then play. Okay, now that I'm old, it's like work, then hammock, okay? Play is not as high a priority as rest for me anymore. But there's no rest until the work is done, and that's how I grew up. And so it's I think this is part of the reality, is resting in the reality that the work is done. It is finished. Jesus came and he had rest for eternity. He has eternal rest, and then he comes down. And he lives the life of a laborer, a woodworker, a stonesmith, and he works. And he does this to enter into what we need, right? So he who deserves rest is in the Garden of Gethsemane the night that he was betrayed, with no rest, up all night, crying out in agony to the Father. He gives up rest in order to do the work of God so that we can enter the rest. And he bears not only the weight of the wooden beam of the cross, but the iniquity of us all, the sin of us all. He bears our sins so that we can run free. He is burdened so that we can be unfettered. He is in agony so that we can be calm. He takes on the battle so that we can have peace, and he does the work so that we can have rest. And that's what I believe this passage is truly about. Don't fail in having rest, but believe. The author says, do not be like the people long ago who heard God's promise, but did not unite it with faith. And thus it did them no good. To close, we're going to have some meditation questions for you guys just to look at and think about for a few minutes. Then I'm going to close in prayer and have the worship team come back up. For the good news came to us just as to them. But the message they heard did not benefit them because they were not united by faith with those who listened. For we that have believed, have entered that rest. My hope is that this passage helps you, as it has me. And if it's like, I think you're saying things, I'm confused, I would love to talk to you about it. And I would love to talk to you about it and just hear more or just be able to talk. But have you believed? Have you entered salvation by Jesus' blood? Have you entered that rest but have drifted away? We want to spend some time for you to be able to come and just focus on Jesus and experience the rest of God. So let me pray, and then they'll start in. God, I thank you that you give us rest. God, I thank you that though we have a full and final rest waiting, you also give us a taste of it now by your Spirit. And God, so I just ask that you would help us rest. God, you would help us have this sense of your presence and the reality of who you are that's deeper than any other reality that we have. That when the storms come, when circumstances are difficult, we'll know that you have us. God, if you are for us, who can be against us? So God, thank you for this passage of Scripture, and just ask that you continue to have it speak to us in the days to come. In Jesus' name, amen.
In the passage in Matthew that Jeremiah referenced, there's a couple verses before that I thought were really relevant. Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light."
Precious
find rest in you tonight, God. I pray that as we walk away from this meeting tonight, that truth would lodge in our souls and in our hearts and be able to apply it to our lives every day, God. In your name I pray. Amen.
All right, guys. Well, that was
Give them a
pretty
hand.
great.
Give the worship band
Yeah.
and Jeremiah and Jared a hand. Thank you guys for sharing and singing for us tonight.
I know I have zero music ability, so I really appreciate it when you guys do that.
Yeah, and I definitely want to try and take that rest into consideration because I need that for sure. Definitely. I've done it once before, and I can say, like, it was great. So
It's
I
true.
hope to do that again.
Well, we
So-
have some pretty cool things coming up related to that. But really quickly, if any of you guys are like, what is Finkel and Einhorn that Jeremiah's talking about? That's from Ace Ventura. It's a great movie, but we have so much other cool things happening, so let's get on to those things.
Yes, so tomorrow we have a prayer event going on, and we would love for you guys to come. It's going to take place at 7 p.m., and we're meeting at the MU flagpole. It's just going to be a great day to pray for the campus and to have revival here, and also kind of just start saturating the campus with God's presence before picnic day, because it does get a little crazy here. If it is your first one, it does get pretty crazy. So come check this out. It's a great time just to learn how to pray and pray with one another and just pray and love on our campus.
Yeah, also, prayer events are definitely not for staff only. So if you're like, man, I really like prayer, but I just don't feel like I'm a good prayer. That's not like please go to this, because honestly, this is a great time to learn how to pray. It could be a great time to just really reflect on what Jeremiah was talking about, pray for that for the campus, and really just pray that things don't get too crazy on picnic day, because Shelby's definitely right. Stuff goes down on picnic day. So this is a great time to really prepare the campus for that. Also coming up, really to hit home what Jeremiah was talking about, is spring retreat. Guys, get excited.
Woo, get
spring
really
retreat.
excited.
That did not sound like you guys are excited. That's okay. Spring retreat's super awesome. It's coming up. It's not this weekend, so it's not Friday with the prayer event, but it's next weekend from April 24th to April 26th, and that is at Scotty's house. So there's a couple of things that you guys need to know for that weekend coming up. The first is to bring $25, because grace does exist, but unfortunately so does money. So you have to pay, because we are providing you guys with some food and some other cool things. So the $25 is to go to food. Also, plan on bringing like an extra $10. The drive is about 2 hours away, so just give your driver some gas money. It doesn't have to be $10, but at least ask them what they would like you to contribute, because gas is expensive. I know it's cheaper these days, but it's still pretty expensive. Anyway, so spring retreat's coming up. This is really a time that we want you guys to take a step back and just kind of rest and enjoy the weekend. There will be some studying time, but just keep that in mind as spring retreat comes up.
Yes, it is one of my favorite retreats, and I'm really excited. We're going to have crazy times like that. So please come check it out. If you have any questions about it, just feel free to ask one of us or someone else on staff, and we can get your questions answered. So I heard a little thing from a little birdie about tonight.
What is that thing?
Yeah, did you hear? Did you hear about what's going on after the meeting?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I did hear, but you
wanna
should tell
know?
them.
Do you want to know?
I do want to know.
You guys want to know what's going on after the meeting tonight? I don't know. Are you sure? I don't know. You guys
It's
don't really.
pretty
I don't think
neat.
you want to know. People are going to Cream after the meeting. Yeah. Yeah, so
All right.
y'all should go.
Guys,
Get
it's
ice cream sandwiches.
cookies and ice cream. Let's get a little more excited for cookies
Yeah.
and ice cream.
And it's like really cheap too. I think it's like what, $2,
$2.50.
$2.50.
$2.75 if you use a credit
pretty
card.
cheap,
That's
so-
pretty cheap.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys should go. I'm sure people are biking. There might be people walking or driving, but definitely go check it out. And that's all we have for you guys this week. So, yeah, just keep giving, growing, and going, and have an awesome weekend, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.